Hello everyone, my name is Red and welcome back to the channel. Today we're here at the depot. Um, we will be working on ballasting in this little section. Obviously I do not have enough ballast as I'm needing to buy lots more. But for today's video we'll be doing a small section and how I'll be ballasting. So I'll be able to do like the whole entire layout without having to make a massive uh, recording of this. So obviously today's video we'll be doing the ballasting, and at the end we'll be looking over in the valley section of this modular railway. Now don't forget to like and subscribe in today's video and enjoy this video. As you can see here, I am doing this as a separate audio. I had reviewed the camera audio and it was just terrible. So I'm doing this separate. So don't mind because I have a camera now. So all this will be done with the camera. So let's get back into the video. So we'll be doing this small section of the modular railway at the depot here. We've got my soft brush and also mineral terps and a watered down glue, which is a 50-50 mix of wood glue, water, and a little bit of dish soap mixed in, so obviously it doesn't create lumps and clumps. This will help very much effectively for all the ballasting, because I did a test earlier and it worked very proficiently. So let's get back into the actual video. So let's continue on. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab my brush and start patting it all down so I have it in level with obviously the ties on the actual tracks. Because what you want to do, obviously you see with a lot of videos they pat it down, is also you don't want a interruption of ballast sitting on top of the rails where it can then derail any of your trains, and obviously it will make a very nightmare situation to clean out because you need to find out where all this ballast is. Also with this I'll grab my wagon. I have two wagons that I'm going to be using in today's video to use as testing for the ballast to make sure that they can run in smoothly. I've got the small one here, and I have a longer freight car that I also will be using. Now, I am using the Hornby locomotives, the Hornby wagons, as you can see, as because they have a little bit of a more deeper wheelbase than what the USA wagons do. All the British rail stuff has a deeper flange wheel, so it is a lot more easier to use that to help identify any of this rails problems when it comes to ballasting. Now, as you can see, I am going to be using the brush and spreading out the ballast as I put so much over behind where you can't really see where the camera is, but there is so much ballast. I'll be spreading it out, making sure that it's not on top of the rails, it sits in between the ties or goes out further, so it obviously continues sitting under the rail tracks and sitting in between the ties. Now as you can see now, I'm grabbing my wagon to do a quick test to make sure that how I perform with this first lot is good, see in case if I need to pat more down or I need to spread it out. Once that is done, I'll continue rolling the wagon around if I need to and keep spreading out all the ballast in between the tracks and also filling in between the track lots, and that will be a lot. So I will be, as you can see, I'm using the back of the brush now, tapping all the loose ballast into the spots where I can't probably see, or just moving them around to pack them in a little bit more easier. Now, we're going to just announce some of these names. So I'll put the names up on the screen. These are for all three main parts of the module. So this is the stations and the depots. So for the depot and the three platformed station will be known as Earlham, respectively. For the station, Earlham Station, module, Erlen Depot, which obviously I'm currently working on, and at the other side on the 2-track only platform is Beckford Hill. Now, obviously, the back will just be called the Valley until I find a suitable name for it. As you might not see, but once I get like a more project, once I get more further into that back of the module there, the valley, you'll kind of see it will look like a bit of a valley itself. Uh, so yeah, those are the names, and they'll be up on that screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the camera for recording, and I'll come back once I do the full of this area, just where I wanted to do, and we'll be back. All right, so once that's all done, obviously making sure that all the ballast that I have in this section is all packed down. I've spread it out. Obviously, having the tape there was good, so I didn't lose any ballast falling off. It's pretty important to obviously have the tape, obviously, at the edge if you're working on the very edge of your module or your base of your table, so none of all this stuff falls off. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see, is we're running the wagons across the 3 tracks, making sure that they are all good and smooth and running, pushing them back and forwards. And once I've done that, obviously we'll now move on to the next part, which is obviously using the mineral terps to actually start diluting and put the glue down. Now, as you can see, I've just put all this, the main bottle of mineral terps into the bottle. I'm going to open up nice and small, so obviously it doesn't come out in one big rush and make a big mess everywhere. Just opening it just slightly just makes it easier to control with pouring it all down to the ballast. So I'm going to be doing this very carefully and making sure I don't spill it, and we'll apply it down on all the sections. Obviously, I will be cutting the video off, so you're not watching me do the entire thing. But you can see as I'm doing this, I'm just casually just doing a light pour around the whole entire ballast, making sure I don't make a mess everywhere or make it worse for cleanup. Alright, so if you guys have any ideas what I should add to the modular layout, especially in the back valley, because there'll be a lot of grassy areas where I can put stuff. If you got any suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. Obviously, for the stations, you can also add your suggestions for the Beckford and also Erlen station, and maybe even for the depot if you want to see something added there. All comments are welcome for any suggestions, and I'll have a look to see if I can add them or not. Alrighty, now as we've completed the full diluting, we will now use the mixture of watered down glue, so the 50-50 mix. As you can see, I've placed it in this bottle, doing the same thing, opening up very lightly and just do some light pours. Now, during this whole time, just being careful of the same thing, but just don't add too much or else it'll take longer to dry and it'll be more of a cleanup because you'll have to get a paper towel or a tissue to soak up all the excess glue. Obviously, applying it nice and gentle. As you can see probably in this video, you'll see the mixture glue going in nice and easier than if it was not used with mineral terps. Now, obviously, most of this is just really just unscripted, so do give me some lean for stumbling and buttering all about. So, yeah, obviously being very careful, applying it everywhere, I will go back around testing to make sure that the wagons are still good to be used on the modular railway. Um, as because sometimes your ballast could stick up and you might have missed something. And also during this time, at the very end, once I've completed all, I'll add some very small amounts of extra drops where I might have probably missed. If you always miss a spot, that's all right. During most of this time, you might find obviously exposed spots where you might see the actual baseboard or the core bed. So it's all right if you make a mistake. You can just come back to when it's dry, and that's what I've done. I've seen like one or two spots where it's just very small, and I've came back later and just applied a small amount of glue to make sure that it's nice and perfect, so it's not a big eyesore. So now, since that isn't finished, what we will be doing now is we will be moving on over to the back valley section in between the Earlham Depot and Earlham Station area. So let's move over there. Now, since I moved the camera over here, we're going to make a great explanation. As you can kind of see with the blue foam, that's all the back there is going to be covered up with blue foam from one side of the table to the other side of the table, just in that back section, and just with this small little mounds you can see here. I don't know if I'm going to add another little smaller mound on the other side, but I'm currently just going to do this mount here and obviously work over with the back side. I also need to glue some rocks on there, so what I've been doing is I've been putting obviously the PVA wood glue onto the back of these casted rocks, and I'll put them down, and then any of the gaps I would fill them with putty or clay, and then just put a nice form around it. I just got to paint it up, and then once I've painted it all up, then I can add the dirt. It is pretty still messy over here, as you can now see. I'll add the bridge on top of this to show you about with the catenaries with the overhead wire system, because I want to have this whole with overhead. So now obviously what we're going to be doing is I'm just going to put this foam on top, and so now here we're going to put the bridge on, and once I've done that, we are going to roll the set of linear coaches back, so you can see how much gap there is in between the top of the rolling stock and obviously the bottom of the bridge. That's how much I have, so I can put the overhead wire systems on this modular layout. Now, as you can see, I'm going to move this camera around to show you how much of the clearance I have placed. You can see it's a pretty very, very steep cliff. Maybe for in the middle or towards the other end, towards Beckford, I might slowly drop the incline down, so it's not that steep, and it's like one foam or one XPS foam high instead of two, because there are two stacked on top. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, enjoy your day.